David, welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only, just David. Hello. Let me just see if this microphone is working. Yes, I should do this before we get on air together. What is going on? How's everyone doing here today? Oh man, where do we even begin? We do a lot of Just David on the Patreon. We do a lot of Just David with the afternoon quick hits. I got something to say today, and I just figured might be easier to do alone. Love all our guests, don't get me wrong. So, look, here's where we are, and I did a whole show about I don't know how long ago, about Teresa that I do think, although I think she is an animal, and we've seen screenshots, everything Melissa Zolno says, I'm sure has happened exactly like that. So, but I still did an episode where I was like, I really think now everyone apparently is saying this. Well, you heard it here first. That Teresa Dolores, Danielle Cabral, and that Rachel Fuda will be back. What date was that episode? I don't know. If anyone wants it, let me know. Slip into my DMs and I'll give it to you. But it went slow, spent a whole hour, and I talked all about how I thought, regardless of all these things that Teresa has been up to, just don't see her not coming back. So I think she's coming back, and Dolores and Fuda and Cabral and that Marge would be exiting, and Jackie and Jennifer, and maybe Fessler. Well, I stand by that per se, but I've never been so unsure of anything in my life. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. So, well, a couple of things. So I thought it'd be fun, first of all, today to do like a sideways type thing. You don't want to watch the movie Sideways. Like, what if we have an alternative to my theory? And what if Teresa isn't coming back? So before we get there, here's the thing. Like when I'm out in public and in the DMs, well, first of all, a lot of you slip into the DMs, but even that, like when I'm out in public, people that listen to this podcast come up to me, not even people that listen. A lot of times nobody knows who I am in public. And like I'll go to an event and my friends will, introduce me, and then they'll say, "What do you do?" I have a podcast, I do Housewives. As soon as someone realizes, either sees me or realizes what I do, they want to talk about Housewives, which told this story before, and my friends in LA, they winter there the way other New Yorkers winter in Florida, and they're there every winter. And last winter, they had a going away party. They had a dinner. There was seating. Sutton Strack taught us as soon as I think that was her first season, you always have name cards. Name them, right? Well, we had name cards, and my friends purposely sat me next to some huge Housewife fans, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. They're like, we know, we did it on purpose. I'm like, fuck off. I don't want to talk Housewives when I'm not working. A book a hour long or half an hour session on the weekends, and we can be on a Zoom. We can talk about it, whatever you want. I do have people that do that every other week. But I really don't want to. And so people that come up to me or people that I meet that then find out what I do, most people, I have to say, if I'm taking a temperature check, I mean, it's not like they listen and I'm really not angled one way or another, but so many people tell me, oh God, I hope Teresa leaves. So that's like what people say to me in person, whether they listen to this podcast or I'm just introduced to them and they've never heard this podcast before and they find out what I do. So it's weird to me that the temperature really is like, we really want her gone. So I'm starting to think maybe this alternative sideways plan thing where I think that they would then keep Melissa. I'm going to lay all my thoughts out. Could happen. I've really been doing a lot of what ifs, and it's people that aren't as invested in Housewives like me and you. You guys listen to me Every day we have 9 shows a week. You guys are invested. We are all in this together. You guys know you listen to, I mean, there's no way you listen to me 9 fucking days a week and you're not huge Housewife fans. You're invested. So we know things, right? Like we get into the weeds, we cover it all. But you have to realize there's a lot of people that listen to Housewives, that watch Housewives, that do not listen to Housewives podcasts. They do not read blogs online. They don't know anything still about, well, I mean, they do because it was brought into the public eye, the mainstream about Melissa's old nose, but like they don't dive deep. So there are people that just casually watch Housewives that aren't as invested as us because they don't know all the nuances and so their theory is like, we're done watching Teresa. So that's when you're like, they're not deep. They're just a casual viewer. Now, I did stand by like Kelly Ripa's, like, we can never get rid of Teresa. I still think that's the consensus with a lot of people. But the more people I meet over these months since I recorded that show that know what I do, or that find out that's what they tell me in person. Oh, can we talk Housewives? So when Jersey comes up, they're all like, we're done with her. So I find that interesting because I didn't really, I mean, I heard that then a few months ago, but I feel like I'm hearing it now more. The longer it's off the air, point point taken. I mean, this was their plan in doing the pause. So I think the pause is working. I'm starting to see it differently. To me, New York went on fine without Bethany. I personally think even season 13 was great, which you guys all don't like. Just because I'm friends with Ebony, I didn't really see why was everyone so outraged? I mean, I don't think the new New York is great, but the point is, it did go on without Bethany for a long time. I mean, uh, Beverly Hills, I mean, I think it's as good as ever without LVP. Yeah, Atlanta has turned to fucking shit without Nene. And I do think, I mean, man, if you brought back Nene, look, we already filmed this upcoming season, Sweet 16, as our guest, Drew Sidora, calls it. Let's air it. And if this is a total jumbled mess, like it sounds, no offense to Drew, but I mean, that's what it sounds like from we start with Kenya, then Kenya leaves. Are we going to show Kenya? And then just explain why she's not there? Are we not even going to show her? And this is going to be some weird thing where we're going to edit differently and there's going to be no Kenya. And even regardless, then at the last minute, we have Phaedra. So I think the whole season is like really strange to me. Bring Nene back, but I still think Atlanta, to me, was good and had moments and legs without Nene. So the sum of the whole, to me, will always be greater than its parts. I really think, to me, you lose the job. I've always said this when you become bigger than the show. I mean, look, I think the difference with some of these people is, I mean, Bethany wanted to leave. She would have stayed. I think it was for $5 million, although now she says there's no amount of money that can get her there. I think she wanted to go on girls' trip for $1 million. So, but Bethany wanted to leave. I mean, we all have a dollar amount for everything, right? So, but she wanted to leave. And Nene basically left while she was still there. She phoned it in. I don't think now that Nene would want to leave. I think it's a different world. Grass is always greener. But the difference is Teresa needs the money. I mean, Nene needs the money too. But Teresa don't want to leave. She don't want to leave. So that is the difference about, to me, why like a Bethany and a Nene and an LVP, these were all different situations because they all wanted to leave. LVP, I mean, didn't go to the reunion. So Teresa wants to stay. So that's a little bit of a different situation. But, look, I look back to the season that producers did Dorinda so wrong. And I mean, look, Dorinda ain't innocent, okay? When she was spun out of control and she got this edit and she made the poor Tinsley cry, the poor Tins. And where do we go? It's no longer an ensemble show. Dorinda has become a monster and has taken over, and we have to get rid of her. I'm not blaming her. I'm blaming production. When Lisa Rinna spirals out of control and people are accusing her of bots, and Kathy Hilton is saying she's the biggest bully in Hollywood, I mean,